eclipse. Oh, hi. I was talking about Ken likes to roam, so occasionally I need to tether him into a spot. But welcome to United Astronomy Clubs of New Jersey. We are here in Jenny Jump State Forest in Hope, New Jersey. So first thing, everyone who is not only here but also online, welcome. It looks like we might have a couple people still wandering down, so to give them a couple minutes to get down here, settle down. I do want to, like I said, welcome you, but also tell you about some of our resources. If you go onto our website, uacnj.org, you're going to find a list of all our upcoming talks. It's probably how you found out about our talk tonight. You can also see our links to our past talks on that, and they are all saved to YouTube. Because we do live stream these presentations to both YouTube and Twitch, and then after we have them, they are saved to the YouTube. So if you're ever like, man, I really wish I didn't miss that ham science talk, and not ham, the delicious lunch meat, but rather ham radio, you can go and check that out. In addition, you can check us out on our social media pages, Facebook, Instagram. We have a Discord channel, excellent places to not only find out what we're up to, but also ask any questions, show off your brand new telescope. Excellent places to do that. Looks like we're almost settled down. If you want, there is still some room up front. The screen behind me is where the talk's presented, so if you want to see it, especially if you're sitting on a blanket, down here might be the best choice, because I know we are packed today. Anyhow, you're not here to hear me ramble on, but we do need to go over some safety features. If you need the restroom, that is the porta potty in the back to my left, your right. We also have a little museum and gift shop area with things like meteorite displays. We're updating it. Soon we're going to have a new display with science at UACNJ here. Also, each of these buildings you saw when you were coming in houses its own telescope. The ones with the roof rolled off are open and have a volunteer manning them. And feel free after the presentation to ask them any questions and see what's up in the sky. Although, that being said, it is the full moon tonight. So what we can see is a little bit less because unfortunately the full moon is very bright. And some of these objects are very not. So when we go, that being said, even with the full moon, it does get dark here in the state park. If you have any flashlights, I do ask that you try and keep those pointed towards the ground, just so we're not accidentally blinding people. That being said, we are using our headlights when we go to leave. We do not want to get run over. We do not want to see anyone get run over. We would like our streak of no one getting run over to remain at never. So do help us out with that goal. Tonight's talk is actually Space Careers with Ken Taylor. Helps if I have the right side of the page. Ken Taylor has nearly a decade of, you have over a decade of experience, probably 2 by now, as an amateur astronomer and astrophotographer. His astronomy photographs have been featured in some of the older editions of our UACNJ calendar, and Ken is a member of Northwest Jersey Amateur Astronomers, which is one of our member clubs here. And he enjoys having fun while entertaining all those who want to know a little bit more about astronomy. And with that, here's Ken.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. Hi, online. I like to talk to the people that are online also. Yes, my name is Ken Taylor. I am an amateur astronomer. Been a member here approximately 18 years. As explained, look at the telescopes. Once we're all done, they'll be opened up as soon as it gets dark enough. Again, when the presentation's over, it's probably not going to be quite dark enough to look at anything but the moon. But in either case, you go to each of the individual telescopes so you can look through all of them and see what kind of designs they are and educate yourself a little bit. With that, I wonder if this will work. Yeah, this should work like this. Okay, so here. Space careers. Some of you younger guys and gals might want to be involved with space in some way, shape, or form. Who wants to be an astronaut? I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hello? I won't go outside. See, she corrals me. Right now, Kim is putting up a rope, so I can't go beyond that point. Either way, space careers. First things first, gals, guys with longer hair, so on and so forth. Please notice the lady's hair. There's barbershops in the space too, so on and so forth. I mean, they cut each other's hair, but that's a little bit much. So, what do you want to be when you grow up? The little ones. Some of the bigger grown-ups are already grown up. I'm one of them. You might want to be an astronaut like I wanted to be. I volunteered to go to Mars. I'll go to Mars in a heartbeat. My wife is willing to let me go. So look at some of this outer space jobs and that might be waiting for you. How about being a doctor or some sort of a medical person? In space, it's a little bit different. We're dealing with no gravity. Does a syringe work the same way? Of course it does. It's forced into you. End results is that many doctors involved are helping even develop equipment that, of course, exercise bike, they have to stay in shape. So when it comes to, exercising, they have to develop it properly for, no gravity or low gravity situation. Materials have to be used. There's a whole bunch of designs that have to be taken into consideration. So there's a lot of stuff. Doctor, astronaut, of course, and designers, electricians, so on and so forth. Yes, there are doctors in space. Here's a doctor actually doing an eye exam on one of the astronauts on the International Space Station. I like to call them astrodocs. Okay, it's just my own name. End results is that has to get done too. People have to stay healthy when they're in space, and we're still investigating that even today. How about food? How about food? Designing food for outer space. I mean, for instance, you got this guy trying to catch it looks like a potato chip. Those are tomatoes. That's a piece of cake. I'm sorry, the cake would never get away from me normally. It'll be gone. So, I mean, the food has to be prepared. It has to be viable in space. It has to be there for a while. It could be a week. It could be months. So you have to take that into consideration when they're preparing the food for the astronauts and the people on the International Space Station, even in the in-between, taking SpaceX up to the space station. How about space suits? Think of all the stuff that's in a space suit. When they're wearing the space suit, they're, again, going back to doctors, pulse, respiration, all that stuff has to be taken into the design of the suit. There's a lot of stuff, materials that are used on those suits to keep them safe if they go outside of the space station or the capsule in which they're traveling in. So there's a lot of stuff that has to be taken into consideration. SpaceX suits, as far as I'm concerned, coolest stuff going. I mean, 2001 Space Odyssey, so on and so forth. They were cool. I think he took his design from there. What do you guys think? It looks much more functional than that previous suit. I mean, electronics, computers, all this kind of stuff has to be taken into consideration in space. There are space career courses that you can take at the college level. I don't know them exactly, but where they're being offered, so on and so forth. So if you wanted to get involved with a space career, that might be a course that you might want to consider. Any questions so far? Nothing yet. Write me the questions online. Okay. Interior decorator. They have to go into outer space. I mean, I don't think this is coming within everyone here's lifetime, but, taking into consideration the amount of space that they wasted, even with walkways in here, that has to be taken into consideration. The design of furniture, the design of a chair, desk, a pen. It comes out. I don't think they have to have a special pen because it's in a weightless environment. I don't think it would come out on paper unless it's being forced out. Who would decide, again, the interior decorator, who would decide on where to put this stuff? It's kind of mind-boggling when you start thinking of all the little things that happen to have to have on the space station. Designing the tools and everything that might be needed to fix the spacecraft. How about the person who might know or design a tool that might be needed to do something in space? What happens if the toilet breaks? We're causing a big problem. Big mess, too. I know. I see a bunch of ladies out there going, yeah. Let the younger ones worry about it, that's all. Here's somebody doing an oil change on the rover. Not really. Obviously, that's in a desert, and that's one of the Mars rover designs that were put together. So, again, think about computers. If you're into computers, the software has to be designed to run the rover, collect the information for the experiments that might be on that rover, even communicating. I mean, it takes, if I'm not mistaken, I think it takes 20 minutes for them to send something from Earth to a rover to move left 5 feet. Again, as I was explaining, why does it take so long? Radio waves only move so fast. The sun is, as I explained earlier to a lot of people here, the sunlight is still hitting you. And radio waves are the same way. If I was to turn out the sun, click, the sun's out, but it's still light here. It won't be dark here for another 8.5 minutes. End results are Mars. Thinking about that. Let's look at some space stuff that is currently used. No, we don't have this. But if the guys and gals are doing a job in the future, you may want one of these people to design and build and even fly, or something like this ship. Okay? Fly or drive is not the correct pronunciation that I should be using in my description. It's pilot. Just like the pilot of an airplane. And there's a lot of stuff that has to be taken into consideration with the design of software, going back to that. Hopefully I'm not boring too many people. Seem to be everybody's looking at me still. Good. Online, I hope you're enjoying it. NASA's not the only company, as you well know, that's putting spacecrafts into space. Of course, we have SpaceX. Blue Margin, or is it Blue Margin? Okay, there you go. I mean, you have Elon Musk, you have the guy, Virgin Airlines,
Virgin Galactic,
Very-
Blue Origin.
Blue Origin. There we go. Okay, so, I mean, design of the ships, the rockets, even testing the rockets, the test procedures to test those rockets, and all that stuff that I previously, everything has to be really, really, really tested, because there's nobody going to come out there in space to fix them or take care of them or make a, a cheese and bacon omelet. That got to be a mess. That'd be floating all over the place, right? Maybe one night you'll look up in the sky at the stars and see a star moving. Yes, it might be a satellite, or it might be something that you think is a star or satellite, but because here it is, maybe at the night, oh, here. That's what that picture is of. That's it here. That was here. So let's look at this. Here it is here, 2 stars, a little triangle. That's it. The triangle's underneath here. End results are, what is that? It's a Tesla. Elon Musk put that up in space in February 2018. Now, maybe one of you guys might be into recovering space junk. Well, if you can bring back that Tesla, I guarantee you it's probably worth about $200 or $300 billion today. Think about that. So you could be a junk man in space. We have stuff coming down all the time. Everybody thinks it's meteors and so on and so forth. We have space junk coming in too. Maybe in the movies you'll see robots on other planets and so on and so forth. Who's going to design the robots? Who's going to build the robots? Who's going to write the software for the robots? Who's going to run the robots? There's a whole bunch of things to start thinking about that you might want to get involved with before even you hit college. It'll help you decide if you want to go in that direction, or be a regular doctor, space doctor, an engineer on Earth designing cars, or rovers, or a piece of equipment that has to be used in space. I mean, you got to remember, you can't go to a toolbox like I have in my garage with all my tools, because my wife wants to clean that out too. These are guys looking at a modern robot right now. End results are is that here, the robot has to be built, and it's being built by some college students. It's way cooler than 3CPO, C3PO. Don't you agree? I got a bunch of nodding heads. Okay, cool. How about this one? This is actually, there is a prototype of this on the International Space Station that they are using at the end of the arm, where it does help, and because it needs a little bit more hands-on kind of stuff. I think they have a prototype to this particular robot. Fixing things on space, fixing a robot in space. That's a whole nother career. There's a lot of stuff that you can get involved with. Maybe one of you will do exactly that. He's hand controlling 3CPO. I don't know. Our first telescope was put up in 1990. That's 35 years ago. It was the Hubble. You still see pictures of the Hubble. They had to design, and they had to diagnose and design a mirror correction that had to be done to that when it was originally put up. How did they find that out? somebody who knows a lot about, sorry to big words, optics, mirrors, and also, what was causing the aberrations that they were getting in their pictures. So it's a whole lot of stuff to think about. Some of the pictures from Hubble after its repair. Anybody know this object? Orion Nebula. Andromeda. I was explaining to a gentleman here, can we see a lot of stuff here tonight with our eye or through a telescope? One of the objects we may be able to see, I have to look on that, is Andromeda. But with your naked eye, if you know where to look and you have decent eyesight, you would see this. This is the core of Andromeda. Also, if you happen to see it, this object happens to be 2.3 million light years away. So in other words, what you're looking at, here's some science, what you're looking at is something that came off, just like the sun that I explained earlier, 8.5 minutes to reach us. The light from Andromeda takes 2.3 million years to reach us. So what you're looking at is Andromeda 2.3 million years ago. If you want to look at it, what it looks like today, come back in 2.3 million years. M13, globular cluster in Hercules. That's only 25,000 light years away. So, end results, the science of it. It's sometimes mind-boggling. What is that? It's a planet. Which planet? Very good. Uranus. I'm trying to get that out. I mean, I heard those jokes as a kid too, Uranus, which we went, actually, I'll take that back. That's Neptune. Neptune has rings, and it wasn't discovered until the Viking satellite, Viking Explorer, went past it, and it took the pictures from behind, and they were able to see that ring, because Uranus is not spinning like this, it's spinning like this. And it's very thin, obviously. Next. What is it? Saturn. Very good. What's that? Who said that? This guy's brilliant. There's your next scientist right there. Good going. Absolutely. With our telescopes, if they were both available to look at, you would be able to see through, not mine, but some of the other ones, you'd be able to see the white cap, the North Pole of Mars. With telescopes, mine, and all the others, you would actually see the rings on Saturn, not in this much detail, but you would definitely be able to perceive the space between the rings and the planet. I'm getting off track with my careers, I know. So those are ice caps, north and south. What's that a picture of? Very good. You come up here and do the presentation. You're great. Okay, but what is this? It's Aurora Borealis on Jupiter. It has Aurora Borealis. It has a magnetic core. End results there's a, you get that all right on Jupiter also. Favorite object, one of my favorites, M51. It's called the Whirlpool Galaxies. It's actually a galaxy swallowing another galaxy. All of this science needed to do that when we go out into space has to be explained, has to be defined, why things happen, so on and so forth. In this particular case, the larger galaxy has more mass, therefore more gravity. But we, as I said before, are going to Andromeda. But when you look up, you're looking into space. So there's a lot of space in between the planets, stars of these two galaxies. So they're going to pass through each other. But because they're going to pass by, and there will be collisions that will influence the orbits of those individual planets going around those stars. Science has been around and astronomy has been around forever. This particular object is called the Crab Nebula. It is a remnant of a supernova. And notice I said nebula. Okay? Nebula is, planetary nebula. Planetary nebula, they thought at the time it was a planet exploding when these were originally discovered. Not a planet exploding, it's the remnants of a supernova. But science has been around forever. This was actually and documented in Chinese writings in 100 AD. They were able to see this during the day. How far away it is? I don't know. Online, look it up. Give me the answer. How far away is the Crab Nebula? Witch's Head. Again, this is another planetary nebula. Again, the remnants of an exploding star. I hope, and here's, what time is it? Oh, lovely. I'll go into my other presentation too if you want.
Also, the Crab Nebula is 6,523 light years away.
See, that's nothing. That's nothing in astronomical terms. But I hope you find a job when you get older that you love, no matter what it is, an auto mechanic or whatever. Doctor, medical doctor on terrestrial, you know, all the jobs are good. But of course, being, an astronomy club, space is our focus. End results are, love to see you helping out the astronauts. Whoops, something that. So, you'll find a lot of stuff to do. I hope you do what you want and enjoy it. If you go into space industry and because you might want to be an astronaut, just like I did, you might meet some interesting people, as you already saw. Who is it? E.T., that's right. E.T. Bingo, Yoda, whoever said it. Actually, this is me when I was younger. I'm going bald too. I had shaved my head for that. But yes, there might be life, and let's take it this way. There has to be life in outer space. Otherwise, it's a great waste of space. There's got to be people out there. They don't have to necessarily look like us. They're not going to speak. They might speak, but they'll have their own language. But I learned a lot of languages too. Well, again, thank you for allowing me to talk to you. I am sorry that I didn't go to full hour, and somebody's going to get mad at me. But the whole idea is that, one, space is big. There's a lot of room for everybody. So think about it. You might enjoy yourself tremendously and add to what we already know. You guys online too. So thank you for allowing me to talk to you. Again, UACNJ, everyone here, president of the organization, all the way down, No one gets paid. We actually pay to be here. And I enjoy talking to you, answering whatever questions you might have as best as I can. Because if I, oh, let me tell you first things first. And I've told people online too. When and if you ask me a question, if you sense any hesitation on my part, but I do give you an answer, there's a 50-50 shot I'm lying to you. No doubt about it.
This is a great example of trust but verify.
Yeah,
You,
find
you
what
should
somebody else
be
smarter than-
verifying what people are saying is true.
There you go. It's a lot of fun. It's a great hobby, guys. Even a hobby. Optics, another thing. Designing telescopes for people to learn more about space. That's another career. And even learning the space by yourself is great. Voila. I hope you enjoyed my presentation. I'm sorry it was so short. We'll go from there.
He
Thank you. Thank
he's
you.
used to. I forgot to feed him some extra caffeine before starting. He's used to being a little more animated, but future we'll get you another caffeine drink or something. Thank you, Ken, for another great talk. So we are going to be doing a question and answer session. How that works for the people here, you're going to raise your hand if you have a question and wave it about, because I am much like the T-Rex from Jurassic Park in the dark. My vision's based on movement. So if you stop moving, you kind of just become a shadowy figure in the dark. Since I cannot read the online chat on my phone with my distance glasses on, and I cannot see clearly without the people without my distance glasses, catch-22. So you guys get the hard thing of having to raise your hand and keep it up until I reach you with the microphone, because chances are, if you have a question, someone might have a similar question, but be too afraid to ask it. So we always like to get those questions. Online people, you get it easy, you just get to type. But before we get into that, I do want to remind everything of the safety briefing, because I noticed a couple of people sneaking in during the presentation, and the safety briefing is, in fact, inescapable. Right, if you need to use the restroom, that is the porta potty in back. It is big, it is blue, it is illuminated by red, and that becomes a little more obvious once it gets darker. We do have, like I said, have a museum and gift shop area. Feel free to check that out. I will be manning the desk in there after the presentation, because they have not given me the ability to be in two places at once. Once I do, it'll be great. Like Ken mentioned, each of those buildings with the roll-off roof houses its telescope. The ones with the roof rolled off are open and have a volunteer manning them. We do have a couple of astrophotographers, our observers on the lawn. Feel free to ask them what they're imaging. I don't know that we have any visual. Those are their own personal telescopes. And really, in general, when you're talking about a telescope that's not yours, it's always best to ask, hey, can I look through this, or what are you looking at now? Do follow our volunteers' instructions. When we are wandering around, even though it is a full moon night, it will get dark. If we have any flashlights, keep those pointed towards the ground if we can, just so we don't accidentally blind people by performing 6 tricks with the flashlight rave. It is a state park, so it is a carry-in, carry-out situation with any garbage, and especially food items we have. The critters get vicious when we leave food around. Please do not do that. And when we go to leave in our vehicles, we are using our headlights, because we do not want to get run over. With that, I'm going to start this off with the first question, online question, which is juggling in space possible?
Well, as you saw in one of my frames, there was a person actually juggling tomatoes. But
We had a
it's-
line of them, but I don't know that you can actually juggle.
Sure, you can go like this, put this one here, put this one over here. So that's juggling. Wouldn't you agree, guys? Yes. Yeah. That's juggling. So yes, you can juggle in space, and it's really simple.
Is it juggling, easy mode? I think I saw a question out here. You put your hand down. Do you cease to exist?
There's one in the back,
Wave your hand around a little bit because I'm missing you.
right there.
Am I getting warmer?
Warmer.
Getting tripped up by the.
Right there. Oh, we're
Oh,
there's somebody on the other side.
I see someone on the other side. They are waving their hand about where I can actually find them.
How do scientists calculate how many light years away something is?
It's called redshift. Redshift, which is it's a portion of light. Okay, and as redshift comes in, if those wavelengths get longer, it's moving away. If they get closer together, then it's coming towards us. End results are, as far as distance, it depends on, again, with further calculations. Again, hesitation. I don't know.
A lot of math that's above our pay grade.
But it is called redshift. Look up redshift calculation and go from there, and that'll
Yeah,
tell
I
you a
think
lot more.
it's a multifaceted approach with that where, you use certain things to get that information and then narrow it down with other science.
Sorry.
Okay. Any more questions out here? Where's the question I missed originally? Okay. Ooh. I wasn't kidding about being like the T-Rex in Jurassic Park.
No, I was just wondering, if you brought your own telescope, is there anywhere that you could set it up around here to look at it?
Okay, I would set it up in this first area right alongside the building, or there's some space along the first line over there by the rock. Are good places to set up a telescope if you want to use it.
That being said, as far as setting up a telescope, I would suggest if you were planning on that, making sure you are getting here.
You're really
As we-
breaking.
Yeah, I realize my cord's being weird. I would suggest getting here when we open, to give yourself time to set up before it gets dark. Just for the fact that we are open to the public until 10:30 at night. Occasionally, and not very often, sometimes we'll get volunteers who are willing to stay later. But that is dependent, like Ken said, we are all volunteers. Sometimes that doesn't happen, and that is not a guarantee. On other nights that are not Saturday, we do follow state park rules, where unless you are in a designated camping spot, this is only open dawn to dusk. So keep that in mind. This is not a place you can come up on not Saturday nights without being an observer here. All right. Our next online question is the SpaceX suit actually suitable for spacewalks, or is that just an inside the capsule extra layer of protection? Really trying to.
You'd have, again, you definitely need extra protection as far as from rocks or anything that are traveling 180,000 miles an hour in space. And yes, it will cause you.
No, are the SpaceX suits suitable for outside spacewalks or?
No, I don't, I mean, and that's my opinion, because of the lack of heating within those suits, they're not designed for outside. But I guarantee you they're working on that.
All right. Like I said, if you have a question, raise your hand, wave it about, because otherwise I can't see you. If not, I'm going to run through a couple of these other online questions. Online people, if you have any questions, do get those in. I say this now because by the time we get through the next one, we're going to have moved on by the time they hear it. our next online question is the aurora on Jupiter actually called Aurora Borealis, or is there a specific name for it when it's on Jupiter?
No, it's Aurora Borealis. It's caused by of course, the ejection of material off the sun and going into the magnetosphere of the planet. And of course, the Aurora Borealis coming in on the North Pole and South Pole, primarily in the North Pole. But it's called the Aurora Borealis no matter where it is. It's just happening on a different planet.
All right, our next online question. Are there any thoughts on the interstellar object that is apparently coming in November? I don't know what object they're talking about.
There is one that's going to be passing by. We have them passing by all the time. End results is that there's nothing to be worried about. The calculation is that it's at least over 400,000 miles or 500,000 miles away from Earth.
All right. Yeah, I honestly don't look that far ahead in my schedule, so
It's nothing to worry about. You don't have to move yet.
I'd hate to see real estate prices on Mars or something. I don't even know where you would move. It's not like you can pick up in a U-Haul and go, "Hey, honey, I'm going to Europa." All right, last chance for any questions out here. I do want to thank everyone who has joined us not only here, but online. If you do happen to see us online on Twitch or YouTube, do hit those like and subscribe. It lets us know we're doing a good job. And there's, like Ken said, we are a nonprofit, so all of this, we do appreciate all of the support you guys have given us to keep going, keep paying the bills, and allow us to offer these free public programs. With that, it looks like we're finally starting to get dark. Unfortunately, the Perseids are going to be a little bit lackluster since we are dealing with a full moon, and the peak happens to be at 3 a.m. thereabouts on Monday. So very early in the morning would be the best time to look for those. That being said, looking for meteors is easy. You point yourself in the direction that the meteors are supposed to be originating from, and just use your eyes because that is the easiest way to see them. Oddly enough, it's best not to try and use a telescope for those. And with that, I do want to wish everyone a great night, clear skies, and good seeing.